Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel and I hope you're all doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can use my spreadsheet to DIY track your portfolio and dividends. Now, if you haven't had a chance to download the file first, make sure you click on the link in the description of this video, download the file first, and then you can follow along with this tutorial. Let's get started. The first tab I'm going to cover is the ticker data tab. This pricing information is what goes through to the other tabs and really drives home the model. And this data right here, it's powered by Microsoft 365's stocks feature. Now, when you first download the file, you'll notice it's already pre-populated with sample data. So you can either delete the data or change it, whatever is easier for you. If you want to add in a new stock, there's a couple different ways. The first is you can type in XTSE:RY, which is a ticker symbol for Royal Bank. XTSE stands for TSX, and RY is for Royal Bank. Hit enter. And you'll notice it automatically brings in the ticker symbol. It brings in the price. The shares will come up once we enter in some activity. So you'll see the price of Royal Bank, the daily change, the change percentage, the 52-week high, 52-week low, the volume for the day, its market cap, its industry, and the last trade time. Now, this 5-year dividend growth rate and 3-year dividend growth rate is not being pulled from Microsoft 365 data, but rather I enter it manually using money.tmx.com. So for example, for Royal Bank, you can go on to money.tmx.com and I'll show you that live. So type in RY, find the ticker symbol. Here we are, Royal Bank of Canada. Go to see all key data and scroll down until you see dividend growth rate for the 3-year and dividend growth rate for the 5-year. And then you can just type that into the spreadsheet. So 3-year is 5.95. and the 5-year is 6.73. So now I have my Royal Bank. And once you have your stock in here, that's really all you'll need to do. Now let's say I want to add in another stock. I'm going to add in Bell Canada. I'm going to type in just BCE, which is a ticker symbol, and hit enter. And you'll notice by default it says XNYS, meaning it's actually picking up from the New York Stock Exchange. So what I'm going to do is right click, data type, and hit change. This will bring up the data selector. Now, I don't want the New York Stock Exchange, so I'm just going to go ahead and back this out and just leave it at BCE and hit enter. I want the one that says Toronto Stock Exchange. These are all .PR stands for preferred share, so I want the one that just says BCE. And this is the one I want. The exchange is the Toronto Stock Exchange. Hit select, and there you go. Now it says XTSE BCE. So there you go. Those are the two ways on how to add stocks to the ticker data tab, either typing in XTSE: with your ticker symbol, or just type in the ticker symbol right away, and then you can change it by using change data type. I'm going to actually grab the 5-year dividend growth rate and the 3-year dividend growth rate for Bell as well. I'm going to go back here, look up BCE. See all key data. Scroll down, and the 3-year dividend growth rate is 4.37, and the 5-year is 4.77. I'm going to just punch that in for my own information. The next way you want to do is go to the activity section and actually enter your transactions. So the way this works is that you have your transaction date, your ticker symbol, your quantity for your purchases. Your net amount has to be negative because it's on a cash flow basis. So anything that you spend money on a trade is negative. Anything you deposit should show up as a positive. Your activity type, is it a trade? Is it a deposit? And then your account type. Is your account type an RSP? Is it a personal account? Is it a TFSA? Or whatever other account you want to use. So let's say I want to insert in a new row here. Actually, let's insert 3 new rows. On the 1st of May, let's say I made a $500 deposit. Type in here, deposit/transfer. My net amount is $500. I'm going to make sure it's positive because that's cash flow going into my portfolio. This is a deposit. And let's say this was into the personal account. Next, on the very same day, May 1st, copy paste. I purchased shares of Royal Bank, and I'm going to use those exact same ticker symbols that I have on my ticker data tab, RY and BCE. I'm going to go back to my activity, type in BCE here, and then I have RY here. So let's say you bought 2 shares of BCE, just enter that here, and you bought them for $60 a piece. So it comes out to $120 for both of them. So that's $120 negative. It was a trade. And again, same thing in my personal account. And let's say I also purchased 3 shares of Royal Bank, which cost $360. Same thing, negative. And then this was another trade and into my personal account as well. And then you'll notice this cash balance automatically updates based on how much I've put into my portfolio and then how much I've spent on trades. So I made a deposit of $500 and I spent $480 on buying 5 shares. So once you have your activity page updated, go to the Dividend Tracker tab. And this is where you actually put in the dividend information for all of your holdings. In this case, I need to add in my BCE and Royal Bank dividend information. They pay 4 times a year. And I'm going to look up the dividend information for RBC. And just on the investor relations for RBC directly, they pay out $1.08 per share. If I go to their dividend information, their next record date is July 26th and the payment date is August 24th. So the ex-dividend date for Royal Bank is July 26th. And they pay out a dividend of $1.08. And the payment date is August 24th, 2021. So you'll notice automatically the number of shares has calculated and how many dividends I'll receive has also calculated, as well as the yield. Because I have 3 shares of Royal Bank, I can expect $3.24 in dividends on August 24th, which is a yield of 3.6%. Same thing, let's add in the information for Bell Canada. Now that I'm on Bell Canada's investor relations, I can see that their next dividend payout will be on June 15th, that's the next date of record, and the payment is on July 15th, and they'll be paying 87.5 cents in dividends. I'm going to enter that as well. Again, they're paying 4 times a year. The ex-dividend date is June 15th. The ticker symbol is BCE. They're paying 87.5 cents, 0.875. And the payment date is July 15th. It's automatically picked up that I have 2 shares of Bell Canada. And based on those 2 shares, I can expect $1.75 on July 15th with a yield of 5.83. Now, because I like to keep my ex-dividend dates in a sequence, just click on this drop down right here and select oldest to newest. So that way you can see the most recent dividends and your most future dividends. And if you scroll to the right, you'll see a dividend tracker. If I hit refresh, now I can see Bell Canada, which pays in June, show up right here. And I can see Royal Bank paying in July, show up right here. Okay, so now that I have my dividends set up, I'm going to go ahead and go to my summary tab, insert 2 new rows. I'm going to type in Royal Bank. I'm going to type in BCE. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this information from the 2 rows above and then just paste it down below. And automatically, it's picking up my 3 shares in Royal Bank, picking up my 2 shares in BCE. I spent $360 on Royal Bank, $120 on BCE. The current market value is $370. This is coming from that ticker data tab. Same thing here, coming from that ticker data tab. So I'm already at a gain of $10.48 on Royal Bank and a small loss in BCE. This will automatically pick up the dividends as you get closer to your ex-dividend date. So right now that date has not come yet, so I only have an open gain. Once you enter your ticker symbol right here, there's really not much else to do in the summary tab. It will automatically show your open gain and loss, the percentage, the lifetime dividends received based on the ex-dividend date, your total gain or loss, your total change, and the percentage makeup of your portfolio. It also shows you the book value per share, the current market price, and the difference between the book value per share and the market price, and the expected yield on your holdings. Once you add in new holdings to your summary tab, you have to reset these data bars. And you can do that by going on Home, Additional Formatting, Data Bars. Now you can choose whatever color you want. I like this orange color. So now I can visually see that 20% of my portfolio is in Royal Bank and 9% of my portfolio is in BCE. And sometimes you'll notice that if the color sequence doesn't make sense, just select the entirety of this selection right here, hit Quick Analysis, Color. Same thing here. Select all your holdings for your total change, hit this little icon for Quick Analysis, and hit Color Scale. And this will reset the coloring schemes so that way your largest loss shows up in a really bright red color and your largest gains show up in this green color. So the bigger your loss, the brighter the red. The more you have in your gains, the more green you'll see. And the final piece you want to make sure is that when it comes to your weighted average yield, just make sure the formula is actually picking up all the way down to the bottom. So in this case, I'm just going to drag the blue and drag this reddish color here and hit enter. There you go. My total portfolio yield is now 2.91%. So that's how you interact with the summary page. We've already filled out the dividend tracker. There's not much else to do here. And then you'll also see your dividend income. And you'll notice that now I can see in my dividend income, I'm expecting $1.75 in dividends for Bell Canada in June. I'm expecting $3.24 from Royal Bank in July. This pivot table right here will keep track of your lifetime dividends. And this right here, this little box will show you the breakdown between your personal and your RSP account. So for the month of May, I'm expecting 90 cents to come in my dividends based on the ex-dividend date, 30 cents of which goes to my personal account, and 60 cents of which belongs to my RRSP account. And this table right here is expected to show you when you can expect your dividends, who they're from, and what the yield is. So for example, on May 17th, this is the information that's coming from the Dividend Tracker tab. On May 17th, I can expect AP to pay 14 cents in dividends, and Interend to pay 5 cents in dividends, a yield of 4%, and a yield of 2.21%. So in total, on May 17th, I can expect 20 cents in dividends. And then you can use this timeline feature to go back in time to see, okay, how much do I expect in April? Or you can go forward and see, okay, what your dividend payout looks like as you move through the months. So for example, in June, Magna pays out 54 cents. And then our new holdings that we just entered in Bell Canada, if I go to July, I can see that Bell Canada pays out on July 15th, and I can expect $1.75 to come through. If I go to my dividend tracker, I can see that Royal Bank has an ex-dividend date in July, but they actually pay out in August. So if I go back to my Dividend Income tab and I select August, there's my Royal Bank payment, 3.6% in yield and $3.24 in total dividends. So that's how this tab operates in a nutshell. This will show you your total dividends per holding based on the month, based on the ex-dividend date. And this will show you when you can expect to see those dividends come in based on their payout dates. You've already seen how the Activity tab operates. The next tab I'm going to show you is the Historical tab, and this is meant to keep track of your lifetime contributions, your book value, market value, your open gain and loss, your open return, your lifetime dividends, your total gain and loss, and your total return through time as you make more and more investments. At the end of each month, make sure you copy-paste the book value and market value by copy-paste values, so that way this value does not change as time goes on. You want to make sure that the formula for book value and market value is active for the most recent month. Everything else you can leave as is and it will calculate automatically. So I don't want this to change when we get into June, August, and so on. So make sure at the end of each month, you hard code these two columns. That way only the most recent month has updated formulas and values. The next tab is the market value pie, and there is really no interaction required because this updates automatically as you update the other tabs. It's meant to show you visually what your largest holding is and what your smallest holding is. Same thing with the gain and loss. I've inputted Bell Canada so you can see that show up right here. And here's Royal Bank. I have a gain of $10.41 and a small loss in BCE. Again, there's no input required. This automatically updates as long as you update the other tabs. The last tab I want to show you is the yield tracker. This essentially shows you what your total yield is based on the lifetime dividends received. So for example, Bell Canada for this portfolio is my highest yield at 5.83%. My lowest yield is on ATD at 0.84%. And this shows you the buildup of your yield. So for example, on March 31st, based on the price of AQN, the yield was 3.89% based on the purchases I made. Because the value of AQN dropped and I picked up more at a lower cost, that pushed my yield up to 4.16%. As a dividend growth investor, you want your yield on cost to grow because as these companies, they increase their dividends on an annual basis, this should technically go higher as you hold more and more shares. So this column right here will help you keep track of your yield on cost. So same thing with ACON right here. My initial purchases brought my yield at 3.48%, but as the stock dropped and I moved to the next dividend date, I picked up more at a lower cost, which brought up my yield. Another example is TELUS. I didn't make any additional purchases, but what happened was that they increased their dividends, automatically pushed up my yield from 4.85% to 4.93% because I received a raise from TELUS. And you can also interact with the ex-dividend date and the payout date to see what your yield looks like based on various dates. Same thing, this will interact with the ex-dividend dates right here. And to clear it, you can just hit this little button right here and it will reset the two the two tables. So that's really it in a nutshell on how to use a spreadsheet to keep track of your dividends and all your holdings. You can see what are your largest holdings, what are your smallest holdings, where do you have the biggest loss, where do you have the biggest gains. So that way you can make better informed decisions as an investor. So that's how you get started with this spreadsheet to track your dividends and portfolio. If you have additional questions on how to use a spreadsheet that I did not cover in this video, feel free to let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and downloading the spreadsheet to show your support for the channel. It really means a lot to me, and I really hope that this spreadsheet goes a long way in helping you keep track of your portfolio and your dividends. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that way I know to produce more content like this. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys in the comments.